Welcome back to Finished Steel Garage. Today we're working on the Fiat 500 again, and we're doing the front suspension arms, both of them. This year I've replaced front suspension arms on 4 of our cars: the Range Rover, the Mitsubishi, the Fiesta, and now the Fiat 500, and it is purely down to our shocking roads with all the potholes. So, you know, bit of a piss take really, isn't it, that the car has to be roadworthy and MOT tested, yet our roads aren't car worthy. Anyway, moan over. Let's get on with the job, get the car raised up and have a look. Oh, one thing has happened. This is coming. No, it's not flying saucer. It's the caps that go on the top of the shock absorbers, where on the last episode when we replaced the front struts on the Fiat 500, I said there was water build up. Let me just show you. So these go on here, so there's little, they just stick on the threads there. Just push on. So there you go. And that stops the water pooling around there. They were only a couple of pound off eBay. I'm not sure if they're original Fiat fitment or this is someone who's just come up with something and 3D printed it. Anyway, they're on. They make that look better. So let's get the car on the easy jacks and up in the air. This is the front suspension arm we're going to replace. This is on the passenger side. So this is at the wheel end, that's at the front of the car, and this is at the back of the car. So you can just see that arc there, and that bush there is this bit here, and it goes into a point there. There's a bolt going through there, and then it comes along the bottom here into the hub. There. Now then, this car, the Fiat 500, being probably the cheapest and theoretically easiest to work on of them all, is going to be the biggest pig, harder other than the Range Rover, because what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to take the front end off, we're going to take the whole bumper off, we're going to have to take the crash bar off, undo and loosen the radiator pack, just to undo this chassis arm here, which is bolted on at that point there, to get to the front bolt in this, which goes in like that. So these have got to be removed on both sides, and to get these off you need to undo the wheel arch covers, take the bumper off, and got to take the front bumper off, some of the screws underneath. Let's get going. I think the record last time was about 15 minutes to get the bumper off and the front end off, so let's see how we go. Alright, there we go. So, front end off, that took, what, let's have a look. Well, I did do it in 14 minutes, and I had some screws that were stuck. so I'll need to replace those. One of them snapped. So we can get in a little bit more now. So I'll get you in and show you what we need to undo next. So what we need access to is the bolt at the back here, which is in here. So we need to undo these two bolts, take this sort of short chassis arm off, which mounts onto the front here, which is these 4 bolts. We've got to loosen those 4 bolts, take those out, basically take the front crash bar off to allow this section to drop out, and undo this strap off here. Okay, so now we've disconnected this at this point here. It's still on because there's a small 10mm bolt holding it on. I don't need to take it off, so I can leave that there. But what we need to do is undo the higher bolts here, which loosens the whole radiator pack, just to give a bit of clearance to actually get that arm out, which just adds to the frustration. And this basically, if you have a look here, this is just on this face down here, it's just giving you, this is the chassis leg we want to remove, but it's now this is loose, it's just giving us a bit of clearance to drop this bit out, which is 3 bolts at this side now. We need to take this strap off here, and then there's 3 bolts at this end to come off. As you can see, this is a bit we're trying to get off here. It's loose at this end, 2 bolts here, the 3rd one there. So there we go, that has taken us probably half an hour, I'd say 50 minutes for the front end, 50 minutes to take this chassis leg off, and that's got us to that 1 bolt there on the front. So we got a bolt here to undo, got a 2nd bolt there, and then we've got a pinch bolt on this arm, and this whole arm can come off. And the reason with this one is there's play in the back in the bush there. So I'm going to take these bolts off here, hopefully this will come off easy. There we go. Old arm out. Whew. There we go. Old versus new. Not too bad really to get it out once we'd got this suspension once we got the chassis arm off here, it wasn't too bad a job really. Probably like a, I don't know, 15-minute job, if that. It's just the fact that you've had to completely strip the front end down. So let me get this one back in place. So what I need to do now is torque the bolts up, pinch bolt at the front and the two arms at the back, get that suspension, get that chassis leg back in. I'm going to put a bit of copper slip on the bolts, get it back into this point here, and then get around the other side, and I'll take a look at that, and hopefully that's similar. But you can join me on that side. All right then, thank you. So the first thing that seems obvious on this side that's different is the screen wash bottle needs to come out. So you've got the arm here, which is now loose. Sorry, it's not arm, it's suspension arm, if you like. The outrigger. So we've got the outrigger here that's loose. We can't take it off because the bottle's in the way. So it looks like there's two M10 bolts either side we need to take off there. So driver's side was pretty similar to the passenger side, other than taking the screen wash bottle off. And it's probably just worth touching on what actually fails on these. These rubber mounts here can fail and become weak, and they are a little bit on this one, but it's really mainly the ball joint here that gets the abuse. So you can see this, if you look at the effort I'm putting in there, you can hear it rattle. That's the one that's failed. This is a new one, which I could probably just move with my hand like that. So you can see the difference, and that's why they're gone. So put this arm back on, torque everything up, and then we'll talk about putting the front end back on. Both sides done. Probably taken me about 3 hours on and off over an evening. And what I've got left now, I'm going to put the bumper on tomorrow, just because it's late, and also one of the tiny little torque screws that holds the bumper to the wing on this side here, up here, there, has snapped. It's when I undid it, so I need to try and think how to get that out. And after 3 hours, now is not the time to try and get that out. I need to just put a bit of penetrating oil on it, think about it, come back to that tomorrow and get that out, and then hopefully, fingers crossed, it's just 15 minutes with the bumper back on, get the wheels back on, get it back on the road, and then we're done. Finally, fiddly bit we've got to get to is that stud there. You can see where it is snapped off, so we've got to get that out there. So a couple of ideas: pair of mole grips on the top, see if we can unscrew it. Looks pretty rusty though. Failing that, maybe drill the whole thing out, put a riv nut in. It's probably the most likely way, or shear it off and put one of those sort of like a C-clip with a screw on the top. That might be the way, but let's see what we can do. Okay, so I've decided to select the fast pass, and I'm going to drill it out because there's no way that is going to get extracted. So let's try drilling it and see how we get on. So this is the clip I'm going to put on. Now we've actually got the riv nut out. I can actually put that in. So let's get that in, and then we can get the bumper back on. Okay, bumper back on. This is always the 15-minute transformation. Top tip for you, don't mess around putting old screws in. Put new ones in like that. It's just easier. There we go, all done. Now for the best part of the job. Down. So there we go, all finished, all torqued up, all ready to go, back on its wheels. Hope you enjoyed this episode and show that you can sort of do DIY stuff at home, save yourself hundreds of pounds on repairs. The only thing I probably need to do after this in changing both arms is get the tracking checked out, or else I'll have adverse tyre wear. So I need to sort that out, but it's not sort of critical to get done straight away. So thanks for watching. Please like and watch again next time when we'll either be working on the Range Rover or on the Porsche 911.